Gentlemen, now it's time for some Wildcat football.
Welcome everyone to the Sound Live Sports Network presented by Shoreline Community College. This is the crossover game tonight. This is the 9th week of the season, the final game before the playoffs. This is a matchup between two teams that finished in second place in their divisions. Lake Terrace finishing with a record of 7 wins and 1 loss, second place in the Wesco 3A South Division, versus the Oak Harbor Wildcats, a team that has certainly been in the news to Olympia to play Capital next week in their first playoff game. So home field advantage is on the line for a round of playoffs, but more importantly, a pride game for both of these two teams. Neither one wants to pick up their second loss of the season, and unfortunately for one, that is going to happen tonight. Steve Willits along with Vince DeMuro. And Vince, very strange night here in Oak Harbor. Obviously, like we mentioned earlier, a game with a lot of emotion and heavy hearts, really, after what happened last week.
Absolutely, and I think both teams are absolutely ready to play some football here and honor the other teams that were involved in this.
Wasting no time. This game is already underway. Austin Bates from Lake Terrace takes it at the 25, runs around to the left-hand side, picks up another 10 yards, and the Lake Terrace Hawks will come on offense for the first time tonight. And they will take over the ball at their own 35-yard line.
Interesting decision to squib that, giving the Hawks very good field position here on their first possession.
So Lake Terrace coming out. We do not have official starting lineups in front of us. We'll get you those as we go along. I think a lot of the Lake Terrace Hawks fans know what to expect here. As Gabe Brady coming out to the right, he is your starting wide receiver. Colin Rucker, number 34, and Ryan Lacoste at the wings right now, number 8. Lacoste.
These two teams run similar offenses in our research on the Wildcats, even though they played a couple of fewer games than the Hawks. But we were able to see, you're going to see a similar offense when they have the ball.
Yeah, both running the wing tee. Oak Harbor a little more of a classic wing tee. Yeah. They tend to block more up the middle, whereas Lake Terrace likes to pull a lot more and sweep out to the outside. Fake the handoff. They're going to pass this time. Hopkins looking over the middle. He's got Rutger. Overshoots him, incomplete. Colin Rutger running right down the middle of the field. He had 2 defenders with him, but Rutger had snuck behind him. If they could have completed that one, we might have been looking at a 6-point game.
Great design on that play. A good time to call that play. The only drawback there, the only negative is that now it's 3rd and about 9, right?
At 3rd and 9. So we will see what the Hawks can dial up here. Justin Hopkins, the second-year starting quarterback, now 1 for 2 on the night. He has Daniel Johnson, the brother of Malcolm, lined up in the flanker position out to the right. Gabe Brady on the far side. Hopkins dropping back to pass. He's getting blitzed. Gets it over to Bates. Bates catches the ball. Fights off one would-be tackler. He's going to be tackled at the 45-yard line of Oak Harbor. It's going to bring up a very interesting for the Hawks.
And that's Malcolm Johnson right there. That's what he brings to the field each and every game. It would be really interesting. I know that in professional football, the statistic now runs after, or yards after contact. Kind of an important statistic. It's a very telling statistic. It would be interesting to know what Johnson's yards after contact are, because most of them are after contact.
Yeah, he tends to pull the pile with him when he's moving forward. A little bit of movement there, and that might be on the defense. We'll wait to get the official call here from the referees.
That would be another first down if it is.
Keep in mind, high school different than college, in that if you jump over the line, you cannot get back over.
There it is.
And there we go. Offsides on the defense. As you mentioned, Vince, on a 2nd and 3, that equals first down. And the Hawks continuing to move the chains here. First quarter, 8:41 showing on the clock. We've already played 3 minutes and 19 seconds. And the Hawks on this initial drive, which started on their own 35-yard line, just continue to grind the ball down the field, picking up first downs and moving deeper and deeper into Wildcat territory. Hopkins under center, takes the snap, fakes the handoff, rolls out, he's getting blitzed, gets it over to Lacoste, catches it in the flat on the left, sprints to the outside, tries to cut back in, and finally goes out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Beautifully executed play by both Hopkins and Lacoste as Hopkins faked the handoff.
Option there. It looked for all, all the world that, in fact, I was fooled too. That looked like Johnson got the ball right up the middle, but it was a delay to Lacoste. Beautiful play.
First and goal, 4-yard line for Lake Terrace. 6:55 to go here in the first quarter. And as Lacoste looking for room up the middle and finding nothing, was met by 3 or 4 Wildcats on that play, one of which was number 51. That was Michael Laningham, 6'1", 195. Tyler Dodd also in on the tackle there for the Wildcats.
Second down and goal at the Wildcat 4.
Second and goal from the 4-yard line at Mountlake Terrace. Eating up better part of the first half of this quarter. 6:21 showing on the clock. This is the first possession of the ball game. Oak Harbor has yet to touch the ball. Hawks now with 2 players in the backfield. It's Johnson and Abraha. Johnson going up the middle. Johnson pushing and again not finding much space. Some of the same players we just called a minute ago. Number 51, Langingham was in on that tackle, as well as Tyler Adamson, a player we've been told to keep an eye on. He's 6'5", 255 senior. And Adamson showing his strength there as he was able to keep Johnson out of the end zone. Malcolm did pick up 2 yards, and we are looking at a 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line. This time, Hawks going with 2 wideouts out to the right. They're going to throw. Hopkins looking to throw. No, he's going to take off running, dives in towards the middle of the field. Might have picked up a yard on the play, and the Mountlake Terrace Hawks are what the offense is coming out right now. Or are they? I see, yeah, Tanner Munnis is out there. He's normally the holder, but he's lined up as a tight end. They're going with a double tight end set. Malcolm Johnson in the backfield. This might just be power ball right up the middle. They hand up to Malcolm. No, they do not. They hand it around to Lacoste. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Terrace. Beautifully executed play by the Hawks. They faked the dive to Malcolm Johnson. Got most of that Wildcat defensive front to bite. Ryan Lacoste takes the ball out to the right side and finds his way into the end zone. Mountlake Terrace 6, Oak Harbor 0.
Impressive play. Well designed, very deceptive, and it also played into our strengths, into Terrace's strengths. That's one of the 2 guys you want the ball to be, and him carrying the ball, and it was a great design play.
Automatic Ivan Milkor, and he gets this one blocked. The first missed PAT of the season, and the snap was a little bit high, and Tanner Munnis got the ball down. Unfortunately, Mountlake Terrace is going to not get that extra point. However, they do strike first. We're going to take a quick break. 4:54 to go here in the first quarter. Hawks 6, Wildcats 0. You are watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
The Hawks stayed home because he's got some very, very shifty little moves back there, and if you bite on one of those, that would open a lane, but the Hawks didn't bite, and they stayed home. And
I saw a 0 wrapping him up. I couldn't tell if that was Gabe Brady or Jacob Walgren. Either way, nice play by Brady and Wally. And Oak Harbor is going to start inside their own 20 here on their first possession. Doty with the handoff. I believe that was Lawler. It was number 32, the sophomore, taking the first handoff of the game. They said it was Devereaux. I thought Devereaux went out to the outside.
It looked like it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
I'm going to call that Lawler. I think that was number 32 that dove up the middle and didn't go anywhere. Princeton Lawler, the sophomore, he's 6 foot, 225, 79 carries for 553 yards this year. He's averaging a little over 7 yards a carry and 7 touchdowns, and he's not even their leading rusher. Right. This is a team that likes to run, and they will run often. And this time they hand the ball off to number 28 as he's finally tackled. 28 is Zach Jones. He's the 3rd leading rusher, 32 carries for 331 yards. So your number 3 carrier is averaging almost 11 yards per carry. That should tell you a little something right there, and shows his skills off a little bit there. He gets ahead to the 27-yard line and picks up the first down for the Wildcats tonight. Devereaux, number 21, who is currently lined up on that left wing, facing in towards his quarterback. He's the one you need to watch for. 61 carries, 870 yards, and 13 touchdowns on the year. And once again, they fooled me on that one. I was going to say they went to Lawler again, and this time Devereaux right up the middle. And that's what this wing, all the way into the end zone, a 45-yard gain. And we have a tie score here with 2:42 to go in the first quarter.
Impressive run. That was a young man who was determined. Holy smokes.
Well, we mentioned earlier they like to run and run often, and they showed it on that drive. Only one pass play. And they can pick up yards in chunks, and that's exactly what they did. The biggest chunk of them all coming on that touchdown. Mark Johnston, the offensive guard who also serves as their kicker, trying to give Oak Harbor the lead for the first time tonight. The kick is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. Both teams with a possession, both teams finding the end zone. The difference being one of them was able to convert the PAT. We'll take a quick break. Your score from Oak Harbor, the hometown Wildcats 7, the Mountlake Terrace Hawks 6. You are watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Are you a whiz in filmmaking? Do you want to become extraordinary in filmmaking? Then come to Shoreline Community College and work with Shoreline Productions, where you will learn to transform your work in teams of working professionals and students to create enchanting effects such as green screen, text animation, and so much more. So come to Shoreline Community College, where you can mystify and dazzle in filmmaking.
And we are back again. Back again here on the Sound Alive Sports Network. Oak Harbor with a 7-6 lead. Didn't miss much there as the kickoff was a pooch kick up into the air. Javon Ned, should say, number 23 for the Hawks, catching that on the 30 and was tackled almost immediately.
Ratio there. Still more runs, but the pass is being used very effectively tonight.
Seeing Lacoste catch a lot of those balls out in the flat. He only had 5 catches coming into tonight. Now, granted, he was averaging about 47 yards a completion. As this time they're going to throw to Daniel Johnson, and he just can't quite keep his feet. Stumbling out into the flat, did catch the ball and picked up a yard. And then the referee spots that one back a little bit further, so he might have picked up a quarter of a yard.
Kind of a bad spot there.
Yeah, I thought he stumbled right onto the 46, and then the referee, who was standing on the 46, placed that ball closer towards the 45-yard line. So we'll call it a second and a very long 9. Clock continues to run. We're now inside a minute to go here in the first quarter. 51 and counting. Lacoste going back into motion again. The handoff goes to Johnson. Johnson one more time up the middle. And again, the Wildcats waiting for him. Picks up another yard. And for the second consecutive time, the Hawks are looking at a 3rd and long. They were able to convert the first down a couple of plays ago. Let's see if they've got another one of those in their repertoire here as they get ready to line up. 25 seconds to go here in the quarter.
If the Wildcats are able to get Terrace into 3rd and long consistently, that doesn't bode well for the Hawks because it's not their strength. They're used to grinding out a good 4 to 6 yards every play on the ground, and 3rd downs will eventually catch up to you.
Brady lined out to the far left. Johnson inside him in the flanker position. Malcolm Johnson in the backfield. Fake handoff. Hopkins drops back to pass. Double pumps. He finally takes off running. He's got some room to the 40, to the 35, the 30. Stiff arms one would-be tackler, and finally goes out of bounds at the 27-yard line. And we are back again live from Oak Harbor, where the Mountlake Terrace Hawks continue to trail the Oak Harbor Wildcats 7-6. However, they are on the roll right now. 27-yard pickup by quarterback Justin Hopkins a moment ago. First down for the Hawks. Handoff goes up the middle. Malcolm Johnson one more time. Finds a little bit of space, gets to the 23-yard line. We'll call that a gain of 4. And I was just looking at the stats, Vince. Obviously, when you're a quarterback, your sack yardage goes against you in high school. Yeah. So this is a little bit misleading, but Justin Hopkins coming into the night, 30 yards of total rushing yards on the season. He almost doubled up those yards on that one play.
Yep. Very, very impressive way to, see the field, see what's open, take what the defense gives you.
Saw him with a big one of those down in Vancouver during the playoffs against Mountain View. He tends to bring out the best in his legs during the playoffs. Throwing into the backfield to Lacoste, and unfortunately the Wildcats were waiting for that one.
Yep.
Looked like number 28 on the tackle. That is Zach Jones.
Might have been better advised to throw that one right at his feet. Loss of about, what, 6, 5, maybe 6?
Yeah, 5-yard loss. And also mentioned Chris Humphreys was in on the tackle as well for Oak Harbor, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and 12 for the Hawks.
The first screen, really, that the Hawks have run, and that one just got chewed up very quickly by the Wildcats.
And I have a feeling there are 1 or 2 Wildcats on every play that are shadowing number. For Melcor, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Oak Harbor with the ball one more time. This time they trail. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
People assume quality car insurance has to cost more. People assume too much. The truth is, drivers who switched to Allstate last year saved money and got better protection. So get the facts, because you know what they say about people who assume. They pay more for car insurance than you and me.
To see how much you can save on car insurance and much more, call Jeff Smar. Jeff's office serves many areas including Linwood, Edmonds, Bothell, and Mountlake Terrace. He can be reached at 425-949-7103 or jeffsmar@allstate.com.
And welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network, brought to you by Shoreline Community College. Scores, and more scores here. Mountlake Terrace with a touchdown on their first possession and a 46-yard field goal on their second drive off the foot of Ivan Melcor. Hawks with the lead now at 9-7. Melcor kicks a line drive that gets fielded at
A great jump ball on the part of the Wildcats. My goodness.
a gain of 42 yards and a 1st and goal on the 7-yard line for Oak Harbor. It's number 7, Dowdy. Back under center, hands this one to Lawler. Lawler's going to try to push his way into the end zone and does. Prince Lawler running right over left tackle, scoring his 2nd touchdown of the night. And with 9:41 to go here in the second quarter, Oak Harbor retakes the lead 13-9. Yeah, give Clay Dowdy a lot of credit, the 6'1", 165-pound senior quarterback on that last throw to set up the touchdown. And boy, Prince Lawler, if he is only a sophomore,
Jeez.
I feel bad for some of these defenders that are going to be playing Wesco football for the next couple of years.
Yep.
He is a load, and he seems to have a nose for that end zone. The PAT is up. And the PAT is through the uprights. That's number 56, Mark Johnston. One more time. We'll take a quick break. You are watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Wildcats 14, the Hawks 9.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway.
Ahead to the 45-yard line of Oak Harbor, a gain of 15 yards.
Almost as if to say, hey, I can run over guys too. If you think Lawler can and Malcolm Johnson can, well, Ryan Lacoste, he knows he can too. That was an impressive run.
Rhino, who's had one heck of a year. We mentioned earlier, 17 touchdowns on the year. Receiving or rushing, he's got a couple receiving as well. He was 1 or 2 tacklers away from finding end zone on that one. Double handoff. Rutger runs into the middle. Rutger's got speed, so look out. Finally brought down at the 31-yard line. We saw that play go for a touchdown against Glacier Peak a few weeks ago, and it almost did again as Rutger, give him a lot of credit too, as he initially started running up the middle and almost found a gap out to the left.
Yeah.
Got ahead for 13 yards and gets tackled at the 32.
Well, so much for a defensive struggle tonight.
Well, both of these teams showing all season long that they can put up points.
That's
I think
true.
to look here, Oak Harbor,
They rattle them off, don't they?
they've rattled off 40 or more in each of their last 5 games, and Mountlake Terrace has been known to put up a few 40-plus games on their own. And Sammy Abraha, I believe, on the carry that time, and it was.
We get to play the Shoreline schools.
Ball getting ahead forward for 1 yard. Sure that went over the air there, Dave Kostick mentioning that we do get to play the Shoreline schools. Well, I'll tell you what, if you look at the Oak Harbor schedule, if you want to
It's not
play
very
devil's
long.
advocate, it's Oak Harbor, I'll tell you what, I mean, they didn't have to play Marysville Pilchuck, obviously, after what happened. They had another game canceled, and when you look at their schedule, they played Monroe as an out-of-conference game, and they
to go for it this time. What the heck?
They're keeping the offense on. It's right hash, so maybe that has something to do with it. I think Melcor was kicking that last one down the middle.
Yeah.
And the Hawks, needing to get to the 22-yard line for a first down and to keep this drive alive, have their offense out on the field. Hopkins rolling out, getting blitzed. He needs something with it. Looks down the field, finally throws it. Incomplete. Intending that one over the middle for Ryan Lacoste. Just a little bit out of his outreached hands there. Ball hits the turf, and Oak Harbor will take over on possessions. And for the first time tonight, one of these teams not able to score on a possession.
Still haven't had a punt. Neither of these teams like to punt.
No.
Don't score.
Lake Terrace with 3 possessions now, a touchdown, a field goal, and a turnover on downs. Oak Harbor with 2 possessions, both ending in touchdowns, and now they're looking for more. 7:17 to go here in the second quarter. Oak Harbor with the ball on their own 29-yard line, and Clay Dowdy, the quarterback, under center one more time. Hands that ball off. That's Devereaux, and he's got a little room out to the left. Cuts it back into the middle where he's finally tackled at the 48-yard line. We mentioned he's fast, and we mentioned he's dangerous, and he shows it right there. He was maybe one tackler away from breaking it. So we'll wait to see where it occurred, and it will be moved back to 10 yards from that spot. And Vince, we haven't had a chance to talk about it very much. I was down on the field before the game talking to the Oak Harbor coaches, and boy, what a class act the Wildcat coaching staff is, the players, everything that's happened this week. A lot of attention given to this team and what they've done for Marysville Pilchuck, and rightfully so. And we'll get into that a little more as this game goes along. But I cannot even tell you how much respect and admiration I have for Jay Turner and his entire coaching staff. Oak Harbor with the ball on the 20-yard line. We'll call it a 1st and 17. And this time Jones has the ball. Number 28 takes it out to the left, and he gets a head forward to the 4-yard line. Do we have another flag down?
I didn't see the flag, but I saw the hold. Sometimes they're easy to spot. Sometimes the stripes must be looking someplace else, I guess. But good run again.
It's down to the 4-yard line, a gain of 16 yards. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 1 as the first down marker is at the 3-yard line. Had to wait to see what the scoreboard operator was going to put on there at first, as we were kind of at an unusual angle here for first down markers. Send a player in motion, fake the handoff to Devereaux. They go up the middle with Lawler. And Lawler, for the 3rd time tonight, finds the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats. Oak Harbor with the 20-9 lead here with 5:47 to go in the second quarter. 3 Oak Harbor possessions, 3 Prince Lawler touchdowns. And for the 3rd time tonight, Mark Johnston on for the extra point, looking to give the Wildcats a 12-point lead. Quarterback Clay Dowdy is also the holder. Johnston gets the kick away and puts it through the uprights. Oak Harbor 21, Mountlake Terrace 9. You are watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Wildcats 21, Hawks 9.
Welcome to Northwest Best, brought to you by Smart Service Subaru. Here's your host, Mike Halsey.
We're back at the Red Onion in Mountlake Terrace, and I'm with the owner, Sean, and the food here is absolutely terrific. The burgers are made with 100% beef, made to order with fresh ingredients. And you're involved in a lot of community projects.
Yes, Mike, we are. With the help of our loyal customers, we're able to give back to our community. Such as we take 100 kids shopping with cops and join us for our terrific Tuesday fundraisers. Join us
at Red Onion Burger.
And thank you for watching.
And welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network. Oak Harbor with the 21-9 lead here, 5:47 to go. To mention one more time, this game is being presented by Shoreline Community College, and we appreciate them allowing us to do these games on the internet every single week, providing you with Wesco football action all season long. This time, Riley Morin with a kickoff return, and for a brief moment, we thought Riley was going to break another one. Of course, Morin was the hero in the game against Glacier Peak, in which he had a 92-yard punt return for a touchdown. Ultimately won the game for Mountlake Terrace tonight, in which the idea to his athletic director of just saying, you know what, these Marysville-Pilchuck kids and the community and everybody else, they've been through a lot. Rather than trying to reschedule a game 2 or 3 or 4 days later and trying to get them onto a field when they have much more urgent things that need to be taken care of at that time, let's offer to not even play the game. Let's offer to forfeit it to them. Let them win that game. Now, normally when we're talking about forfeiting a game in a regular season, it may or may not change something in the standings, but in this particular case, these were 2 teams that were tied for first place going into that night. Their final regular season game before a crossover game, a game to decide a division championship. And so for Jay Turner to make that gesture and say, you know what, you guys take the championship. We don't want you to have to think about this.
Right.
We'll take the number 2 spot. Let's move forward with it. Let's move on. And I asked Jay, what went into the thinking and the thought process behind that? And I'll get to that a little bit more here in a minute. Hopkins in shotgun formation, 2 running backs in the backfield with him. Hands off to Malcolm Johnson this time. Johnson fighting towards the 36-yard line. Picks up a gain of 3, maybe 4 yards.
I think Malcolm's also saying, hey, please don't let the guy grab my face mask every time I go through that hole. Let the referee know that. Looked like his head kind of got pulled back a little bit on that play.
Picks up sad day. And community was trying to get together at a couple of the different churches in the area. The football team was trying to have a meeting that night to discuss where they were going. And when the football team got together, a handful or most of the Wildcat football team showed up in Marysville at their meeting. And Jay said that was something that was not initiated by him and his coaching staff. That was something that the players decided they wanted to do on their own. As Hopkins is back under center again, hands this one off to Lacoste. Lacoste looking to go outside to the left, cuts it back towards the middle, and not much space. Might have even lost a yard, and that's going to bring up 4th and long. And so, the Oak Harbor players showed up at the Marysville-Pilchuck meeting that night to show their support and to let them know that, again, these are 2 teams that are rivals on the football field, but under the circumstances, they wanted to let them know that they were thinking about them. And the story just kind of, it spiraled from there. I mean, at one point this week, Oak Harbor was out practicing on this very field on Wednesday, and the Marysville-Pilchuck football team showed up, bringing them pizza and bringing them the trophy that they get for winning Wesco and telling them that we want this to be in your trophy case, not ours, since you forfeited the game. And nice kick by Austin Bates, the first kick of the game for him. First punt we've seen from either team.
Wow.
And that is going to be marked out at the 20, so we'll give him a 36-yard punt on the play. And we'll keep it right here as there's 2:23 to go in the half. And I'm just talking to Jay about the important lessons that have been learned this week for both schools, and the significance of it. And we talked about the fact that Oak Harbor could go on to win the state championship, and I think even if that were the case 20, 30, 40 years from now, people aren't going to talk about that state championship. They're going to talk about the compassion that was shown between these 2 programs all week. And Jay even pointed out that that's what makes him the most proud of what he's coaching right now, and just how special this group of young men are that he's going to battle with every week. As Jones looks for a little bit of room and gets it back to the 23. And Jay just said all season long it's just been a pleasure to coach these kids. He mentioned from year to year you don't know what you're going to get, and this just happens to be one of those years where he can't wait to go to practice every day because of the fact that he gets to coach this group of young men. To say that what they've done is just admirable all week long, it's an understatement. I mean, there's a reason no flag as well. There shouldn't have been. That was a good non-call by the referee, and it's going to bring up 2nd and 16.
Well, if the Hawks can shut down the Wildcats here, they realize that coming out of the locker room that the Cats are going to get the ball on that second half kickoff. So they got to prevent any score here if at all possible.
A very good point. So last thing you want to do is go down by 2 scores, more than 2 scores, and then know that your defense is coming out first in the 3rd quarter. Lawler bouncing off one player and just pushing his way forward up the middle to the 45-yard line, and he's going to pick up another 10 yards. It should bring up a 3rd and 6. Got a few folks we want to say hello to tonight. We'll carry this into the second half as well, as there's a handful of them tonight. Do want to say hello to Margot Allen, the mother of Miles, who stayed home tonight because, what do we got going on the scoreboard there? I'm trying to figure that. Oh, there we go. Okay.
It's under a minute.
Under the minute, so we're doing the tenths of a second.
Wow.
Is Dowdy back under center one more time? He's going to throw again on 3rd and 6. He's got plenty of time. Finally getting rushed in there.
Wow.
Steps past a few different players and coming back for the ball and making an outstanding catch That is number 15 at David Ray, and give Dowdy a lot of credit as he was able to elude 3 different Lake Terrace Hawk defenders.
I don't know if that's a flag down or not back there. I guess
that's
it is.
Something pink. It might be one of the towels from one of the Oak Harbor players.
22 yards on the Wildcat pass play.
Dowdy, the magician there, as he was able to do his best Houdini. We're going to keep it right here with 35 seconds to go. So, yeah, Margot Allen, who is Miles' mother, she's watching the game at home. She stayed behind so that she... Yeah, Dowdy, and really, I mean, we talked about the 42-yarder he completed earlier, but the last pass he made to Ray, I thought he was going down in the backfield, and how he snuck out of 3 different players really kind of ducking underneath one of those tacklers. And I think he might have just drawn the Hawks offsides.
Yeah, that's
hard count there, and that's exactly
as a hard count.
Quarterback what you want to do. That's what they're taught, and he was able to pick up an extra 5 free yards for his team.
I'm not so sure that would be legal at all levels, what he just did, because a lot of movement on his part, too, when he barked out the call.
I'm surprised that more high school teams don't try that. I think I would be hard counting just about every other time I was at least when I was going to throw the ball anyway. You can generally get these players to jump pretty quickly, and unlike other leagues, they can't go back once they do that. Screen pass out to Harris.
Nice tackle.
He's able to get forward to the 21-yard line, maybe the 22. Regardless, it is a first down, and with 23 seconds to go, the Wildcats with 2 timeouts in their back pocket.
I think they just took one of them there.
It's a wise move. Again, we'll keep it right here, as this might be a fairly quick one.
It might be an official. Oh, no, it is a Wildcat timeout. I thought maybe it was going to be an official's timeout, but they determined that was definitely a first down, so no reason to
Wildcats, that's their second timeout.
call a timeout. On the officials' part, the Wildcats decide they need to. It's a little bit interesting because was he out of bounds out there? I thought he went out of bounds, but maybe not.
Yeah, it was close. It was far side from where we're standing, so it was off 27-9 with 13 seconds to go in the half. Just a nice fade pattern by Oak Harbor there. Simple 2 or 3 step drop by Dowdy. Just had Harris run right down the sideline there, faded into the back corner of the end zone, right where he could catch it, and he pulled it in. 3 catches for Harris on this drive. Dowdy with the hold. Johnston with the kick. It is good. And Oak Harbor with a 28-9 lead here with 13 seconds to go in the half. We're going to take a quick break. You are watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Are you a whiz in filmmaking? Do you want to become extraordinary in filmmaking? Then come to Shoreline Community College and work with Shoreline Productions, where you will learn to transform your work in teams of working professionals and students to create enchanting effects such as green screen, text animation, and so much more. So come to Shoreline Community College, where you can mystify and dazzle in filmmaking.
And we are back again here at Oak Harbor. The Wildcats, as well as a few other things, and you can tune in to watch the Red Onion Burger halftime report. You are watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Hey sports fans, do you want to know when and where your favorite teams in the West Coast Conference are playing? Who won the game last night and what the current standings are? Well, it's easy to find out on westcoathletics.com. The information is entered by athletic directors and coaches, so you know it's accurate and up to date, making westcoathletics.com the place to view official scores, schedules, standings, and photos for all the schools and all the sports in the West Coast Conference. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook and check out westcoathletics.com, the official website of the West Coast Conference.
Welcome to Northwest Best, brought to you by Smart Service Subaru. Here's your host, Mike Halsey.
We're back at the Red Onion in Mountlake Terrace, and I'm with the owner, Sean, and the food here is absolutely terrific. The burgers are made with 100% beef, made to order with fresh ingredients. And you're involved in a lot of community projects.
Yes, Mike, we are. With the help of our loyal customers, we're able to give back to our community. Such as we take 100 kids shopping with cops and join us for our terrific Tuesday fundraisers. Join us
at Red Onion Burger.
And thank you for watching.
People assume quality car insurance has to cost more. People assume too much. The truth is, drivers who switched to Allstate last year saved money and got better protection. So get the facts, because you know what they say about people who assume. They pay more for car insurance than you and me.
To see how much you can save on car insurance and much more, call Jeff Smar. Jeff's office serves many areas including Linwood, Edmonds, Bothell, and Mountlake Terrace. He can be reached at 425-949-7103 or jeffsmar@allstate.com.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Like a team that continuously puts up 40-plus points a game. They've done it all season long, and they look like they're on their way to doing it tonight, unless the Hawks can make a few changes at halftime. But they're doing it every which way. As we just kind of look at the stats here, we'll take a look at Oak Harbor first. Clay Dowdy, the quarterback, 6 of 8, 116 yards, and 1 touchdown. So, you know, the guy's averaging, almost 19 yards of completion, and he's completing 75% of his passes. If you do that more often than not, you're going to win a lot of football games, and that's with teams that don't like to run the ball. And guess what? This team does, and they do it very effectively. Looking at the running backs right now, start off with the sophomore, Prince Lawler, 7 carries, 97 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He's averaging almost 14 yards a carry, 6 passes for 10 yards, for 10 attempts, 40 yards, and really Hopkins only 40 passing yards, but he's been effective. He's done what he's needed to do, and also had a nice 27-yard scramble earlier. So really, Justin not having a bad night so far.
I think if there's one thing that maybe Coach Umaya might tell Justin is that to take advantage of the fact now that he's established that he will run if he needs to. And you know what? If he needs to again in the second half, don't be afraid to do it. Fake a couple of throws and, pump that ball a little bit and then see what you can get. Because right now, Oak Harbor is really keyed on, and you picked up on this, there's at least 1 or 2 guys that are shadowing Lacasse on every single play, and that's pretty smart football, I think. Johnson has pretty much been delegated to running the inside routes, and he's effective, but when you shut down Lacasse and go to Johnson, and Johnson is pretty much just going to run those 2 inside plays, then you've eliminated the bulk of the Hawks' go-to offense. And so maybe Hopkins has got some options now, knowing that the Cats are keyed in on those obvious parts of the Hawks' offense.
Yeah, and looking at some of the rushing stats here, Justin Hopkins, we mentioned earlier he had a 26-yard run. He's got 3 attempts for 21 yards. Ryan Lacasse, 10 carries, 38 yards, and a touchdown.
Right.
Malcolm Johnson, 11 rushes for 29 yards. Colin Rutker, 2 carries for 15 yards. And then Sammy Abraha, 1 attempt for no yards. Looking at the receiving yards so far, Daniel Johnson, 1 catch, 0 yards. Austin Bates, 1 catch for 8 yards. And then Ryan Lacoste, 4 catches for 32 yards. And that is your individual stats. Oh, we'll put in one more additional individual stat, if you will. Ivan Melkor, 46-yard field goal attempt. You don't see that every day at the high school level, so give Ivan a lot of credit for kicking that ball through the uprights, and one of the longer field goals we've seen at Mountlake Terrace in a little while anyway.
A successful attempt, I should point out.
Successful attempt, yeah. This is a school that's produced quite a few good kickers anyway, and we saw Jalen Podnui kick a few long ones not too long ago, and then last year Mikey Jensen showed that he had quite the foot, and even going back further than that. So
that's right. Ivan
Melkor continuing that tradition, if you will. But yeah, looking at the team stats now, first downs, Oak Harbor, they need to do something quickly. They've been on defense 4 times tonight. They've given up 4 touchdowns, and Oak Harbor gets the ball first to start off the third quarter. If you're going to issue a statement, you need to do it very quickly going into that third quarter. Hey, Vince, let's take another quick break. Once again, you are watching the Red Onion Burger halftime report. Our score here, Oak Harbor 28, Mountlake Terrace 9. You are watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Welcome to Northwest Best, brought to you by Smart Service Subaru. Here's your host, Mike Halsey.
We're back at the Red Onion in Mountlake Terrace, and I'm with the owner, Sean, and the food here is absolutely terrific. The burgers are made with 100% beef, made to order with fresh ingredients. And you're involved in a lot of community projects.
Yes, Mike, we are. With the help of our loyal customers, we're able to give back to our community. Such as we take 100 kids shopping with cops and join us for our terrific Tuesday fundraisers. Join us
at Red Onion Burger. And thank you for watching.
People assume quality car insurance has to cost more. People assume too much. The truth is, drivers who switched to Allstate last year saved money and got better protection. So get the facts, because you know what they say about people who assume. They pay more for car insurance than you and me.
To see how much you can save on car insurance and much more, call Jeff Smar. Jeff's office serves many areas including Linwood, Edmonds, Bothell, and Mountlake Terrace. He can be reached at 425-949-7103 or jeffsmar@allstate.com.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal.
Are you a whiz in filmmaking? Do you want to become extraordinary in filmmaking? Then come to Shoreline Community College and work with Shoreline Productions, where you will learn to transform your work in teams of working professionals and students to create enchanting effects such as green screen, text animation, and so much more. So come to Shoreline Community College, where you can mystify and dazzle in filmmaking.
And we are back again from Oak Harbor Stadium. The Oak Harbor Wildcats leading the Mountlake Terrace Hawks 28-9. And if you tuned in a little bit late, we'll remind you once again that this game is to determine third and fourth seeds for next week's playoffs. This is not a playoff game per se. This is the final regular season game. The team that wins this game tonight, if we've got everything calculated correctly, we believe they will host a home game either next Friday or Saturday. That's yet to be determined, against Kennedy Catholic. And once again, if we've calculated correctly, the team that loses this game should be going down to Olympia next week, either Friday or Saturday, to play Capital. That is when it's all or nothing. That is when it's do or die time. You lose one of those games, your season comes to an end. You win, and you move on in the playoffs. And if you are Mountlake Terrace, unless you can get something going very quickly, you might want to start.
Consume big chunks of yardage on any given play, and that's what the Hawks are going to have to find an answer for here. And maybe they have to take a couple of risks. Maybe they got to bring 2 or 3 more guys when it's an obvious passing situation and try to corral their quarterback and